What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Tensions between Russia and the US, China amping up here even more as Russia has abducted a journalist from the Wall Street Journal and basically held him now in a prison and saying he's a spy. President Biden calling for Russia to release him and, quote, let him go. The reporter accused of espionage to be held in custody until May 29th, but probably they'll just keep him there forever until the White House does a prisoner exchange. Here's what President Biden had to say. Biden said, let him go, but there is a process. You know, there's always a process with Russia, right? Quote, Gershkovich is a journalist. He should be released immediately and unharmed and allowed to return to his important work and never go to Russia again. The National Press Club continued. Evan has a significant and distinguished career working for the New York Times and the AFP prior to the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal also forcefully defended its reporter and denied Russia's allegations in a statement. Quote, the Wall Street Journal vehemently denies the allegations from the FSB and seeks the immediate release of our trusted and dedicated reporter, Evan Gershkovich. We stand in solidarity with Evan and his family. Wall Street Journal senior communications manager Caitlin Roos wrote. Gershkovich is the first American reporter to be arrested on espionage charges in Russia since 1986, when U.S. News and World correspondent Nicholas Danilov was detained. He was released without charge for 20 days later in a, imagine that, prisoner swap for a member of the Soviet Union's United Nations mission who is being held by the FBI. Now, this comes just here like a day or so ago after Russia suspended their nuclear notifications. Take a listen to this.
Into Russia and to an alarming new turn in U.S. relations with Moscow. Tonight, the Kremlin now suspending all notifications involving nuclear weapons. Communications required under the New START treaty. White House is responding. It won't communicate either then. So where does this leave us? Here's Martha Raddatz now.
Tonight, a troubling standoff. Russia now refusing to give advance warning to the U.S. about its missile tests or provide data about its nuclear arsenal as required by the START nuclear arms agreement. A move that has now prompted the White House to do the same.
Since they have refused to be in compliance with that particular modality of New START, we have decided to likewise not share that data.
The New START agreement signed in 2010 limits each country to 1,550 deployed nuclear warheads with inspections to verify compliance. But last month, Vladimir Putin called off inspections because of U.S. support for the war in Ukraine. Now they have taken it even further, calling off all notifications of missile tests. This all comes as Russia begins military drills and Putin's announcement that he will deploy tactical nuclear weapons to Ukraine's neighbor Belarus. But the Pentagon believes this is just saber rattling, although failing to share data about missile tests under the START agreement means there's always a greater possibility for miscalculations.
Yeah, and it seems like the three-headed dragon, China, Russia, North Korea, just will not let up here. Almost on a daily basis, seems like there's something new. In addition to that, there's also China staging combat patrols after warning Taiwan about meeting with U.S. Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House of Representatives. If China has warned that there will be grave, what did they say here? Grave consequences if the Taiwan president meets with Kevin McCarthy. So they're basically warning the U.S. that we can't even meet with the president of Taiwan. And, I mean, it's crazy. They're just saying we can't even meet with people from Taiwan, and 9 Chinese aircraft crossed the Taiwan Straits median line on Friday, carrying out combat readiness patrols. Taiwan's defense ministry said days after Beijing threatened retaliation if the Taiwan president meets with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. China, which claims democratically ruled Taiwan as its own territory, even though it's not, they have their own president and they're not part of China, they say so themselves, despite the strong objections of the island's government, has been angered by what it sees as a stepped up U.S. support for Taiwan. Taiwan's defense ministry said that 9 Chinese aircraft crossed at points in the north, center, and south of the Straits median line, which are used to serve as the unofficial buffer between the two sides. Taiwan's armed forces respond using its own aircrafts and ships to monitor the situation using the principle of non-escalating conflicts or causing disputes. And remember here that President Biden has said that he will use U.S. forces to back Taiwan if they're attacked by China.
Well, President Biden is making clear just how far he'd go to defend Taiwan in an attack from China. In fact, in an interview that aired last night on CBS's 60 Minutes, Biden took his pledge to defend the island one step further. Take a listen.
To be clear, sir, U.S. forces, U.S. men and women would defend Taiwan in the event of a Chinese invasion.
Yes.
Definitive.
Now, President Biden has reiterated this multiple times. Now, whether or not he's just saying this to try to make sure that China doesn't do this, we don't know, but I sure don't want to find out. I don't want to be in a war with China or Russia or North Korea. I mean, they all have nuclear weapons. I don't want to be in a major war with anybody. Do you? So, especially with a country that has nuclear weapons, it's just not something that's good for us or the world or anybody for that matter. So, yeah, this is, it just seems like, and I mean, again, that's why I like to show you guys this here. And I like to show you guys the truth, show you it in black and white, show you the interviews, and it just seems like 2023 is just as crazy or worse here than 2022, which was just as crazy as 2021 and 2020. It just seems like ever since the 2020s have began, starting with the virus and the pandemic, it just seems like these last few years have been absolutely insane, for lack of a better word. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments, but has it been this crazy here since the 90s? I mean, it's just, I don't know. Where do we go from here? So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't yet, and thanks so much for liking and sharing these videos. Here's some videos you should watch next. Here's what Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen just said about the state of our government. And here's what the top general in the Army just said here, which was pretty shocking here. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.